Good afternoon. Thank you for coming to our monthly meeting, Wednesday, November the 20th, 2024. Please stand and let us honor our flag. On the count of three, one, two, three, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our land acknowledgement today will be presented to us by our Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer, Antoinette Amos.
Good evening. The Buffalo City School District respectfully acknowledges the Haudenosaunee
Please
Confederacy.
speak a little louder.
Absolutely. The Buffalo City School District respectfully acknowledges the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, on whose ancestral territory our schools were built. We honor and pay tribute to the indigenous ancestors of the land we use. We acknowledge the historic intergenerational traumas that have endured and offer hope and opportunities for healing and reconciliation as we go forward together. One key Haudenosaunee principle is to live in peace and harmony with each other and the natural world. All life should be respected and cared for because what happens to one living thing affects all living things. We are grateful for the abundant natural resources in this land of Haudenosaunee people and for all who work to protect these resources. We acknowledge the Haudenosaunee people as the past, present, and future caretakers of this land of water, and we are grateful for the opportunity to live, work, and educate our children on this ancestral land.
Thank you. This is the month that we celebrate our Native American heritage. Well, I'm at home at this school. My sons graduated. I was coach mom for 8 years. They're 4 years apart. And so other than East High School, this is where I spent the majority of my adult life, or my life in Buffalo Public Schools. So thank you so much for having us. Order of business, I need to let the record reflect that prior to the start of this meeting, the Board of Education went into executive session to discuss a pending litigation matter before the New York State Supreme Court with index number 808-413/2022. We also discussed, two, a pending litigation matter before the New York State Division of Human Rights with complaint number 1023-3386, and two related grievances, and three, for the purpose of receiving legal advice. No action, official action was taken inside of our executive session. With that said, Dr. Williams, I think I'm going to turn the mic over to you, and so we can get this board meeting going.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is a very special evening and a special month, and we are going to be treated by a very special reading of a poem from one of our students, and I'm going to ask if our director, Mr. Willis, would introduce our student and share a little bit about what we are about to be gifted with.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Superintendent Williams, and all honorary board members and everybody present. What you are going to hear this evening is a poem recited by Imir Oaks, one of our MBK fellows for 2024. Let's give him a round of applause real quick, please. Also supported by his brothers, a couple of his, our MBK fellows, Mr. Robert Proctor at Hutch Tech, and Byron Chavis, who's our mentor for our MBK fellows this year. We'll give them a round of applause too. Imir is a senior at Bennett High School, so we are very proud to have him read a poem written by Mr. Amir Johns, who's a freshman college student studying architectural technology at the SUNY Oxford State. His poems are concerned with what he loves in life, whether it's video games, fashion, or beauty. Our mayor could not be here this evening. He is a student of Native American descent, but he did give permission for Amir to read his poem for you this evening. It's in the anthology that you all have a copy of called Summertime Stanzas. This was the culminating product of our interns from this summer at Just Buffalo Literary Center. So we want to also give them props and acknowledgement for bringing the best out of our students this year. Without further ado, Mr. Amir Oaks.
How you doing today?
Welcome home.
The poem I will be reciting is called White Noise, as he said, written by Amir Johns. Listening to a bird chirp away, hearing each sound it makes, listening to it cry, listening to it sing, talking back to it, conversing for hours, days even, looking for it every day. But I hate the noise birds make.
So why
So why? So why?
am I?
Why am I pretending I care? Why do I listen? Why do I search for it? Maybe if I was a bird, I'd understand. I'd care more and enjoy chirping. But what if I hated it? Would I still have to chirp?
Could I just say?
Could I just stay silent? Is chirping what defines a bird? Like growling does a lion? Or mooing does for a cow? I really hate the noise birds make.
Ooh. Whoa. That's powerful. Yeah, what we supposed to do? That's awesome.
It is.
That's awesome.
Let us give, what's his last name? What? Oaks? Okay, let us give Dr. Oaks a round of applause. And the published author, who couldn't be here tonight, but certainly who we appreciate having written something like this, Dr. Johns, Amir Johns, also a round of applause. Many of us receive an anthology book, and it is a listing of writings from our students. And we want to also thank the other MBK fellows that showed up tonight to support. So if you young men would just stand up one time, I want to see each of you. You look so nice. Thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate it. Okay, so at this time, I have the distinct pleasure, and it is truly a pleasure, to bring up a young lady who is just doing a dynamic job leading this dynamic school, the Mathematical Science and Technology High School, and she's with her assistant principals. They got their green on. You know, I know that that's one of the colors of the school. They got a lot of school spirit here. Principal Womack is just doing a fantastic job moving things here to the next level. They've gotten awards during my time in this seat. They're increasing the number of students that are exposed to AP classes. And it was no surprise to me that on this evening, she will be honoring some of her young people for work that they've done in the area of cybersecurity. And she is the principal of our student representative, who is just amazing, amazing. Would you like to say anything about your principal?
Honestly, there's just so much to say, but with one word, she is wonderful. She will treat you like her family if you get to know her.
All right, Principal Womack.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Danielle Womack, and I am the very proud principal of the Math, Science, and Technology Preparatory School of the Buffalo Public School District. Our school is also affectionately referred to as MST High School by our friends and family. This is my 7th year inside this beautiful building, and I'm very proud of the transformation that we have taken over the last few years. I can honestly say we work hard here. We work hard and we're committed to excellence, innovation, and creating opportunities for our students. As the 3rd-year principal, I'm encouraged by the work that my staff and I do each and every day. We are so happy to host this board meeting in November during Native American Heritage Month. Tonight, I want to share with you some fun facts about our school and tell you a little bit about the summer that my students spent with Trocaire College. Recently, our state designation changed. We moved from a CSI school to an LSI school. In New York State, LSI is the highest designation any school can receive. So, additionally, we offer 12 dual credit courses, which include 6 advanced placement courses. We are preparing our students for college and career, and we are providing our students with opportunities. We also have several award-winning programs, which include our business program, our WASED STEM program. I'll add this, we just came back from Arizona presenting at a national conference. Our students in the WASED program actually created a workaround for the kits that WASED sold to us in our district and most districts in this area. But our students found a glitch, and in that glitch, we created with our 3D printers a way to ensure that they didn't flip over if they hit a curved wall. So I want to shout out our wonderful teacher, Mr. Farrell. Where's he at? Mr. Farrell. In addition to that, we have an award-winning girls varsity basketball team. We have won league champions for the last 2 years. Our girls are tough. Our boys are tough as well. During the 22-23 school year, my first year as principal, we won league champions for boys and girls, so our boys won. Our boys team has also made it to the Final Four competition in Section 6 for the last 2 years. Very, very competitive Section 6, and our coach, our head coach, Scott Kirsch, is a wonderful, wonderful teacher, and not just a good coach, but a good human being. The last thing I will end with is, the last highlight, should I say, is I will share briefly that this summer for 5 days, our students and 2 of my exemplar teachers went to Trocaire College for 5 days, 5 full days, and learned from the top cybersecurity people in the area in a state-of-the-art facility. And they learned how to keep themselves safe and how to do amazing things in the field of cybersecurity. Last thing I will say about this before I bring my student, because we at MST believe in not just leading as adults, but we believe in ensuring that our students have that capacity to lead too. The last thing I'll say is I'm working currently with some colleagues, principal colleagues in different buildings, because the work that we do at MST is something that every school can do. We just have to believe in our students. We have to believe in our families. And, we created a blueprint, so to speak, as to how to ensure students care about their futures and understand opportunities and how to take advantage of those opportunities while they're in high school. So I'm going to bring up our Rayhan Rashid, who has many titles. Some of them are Inter High Council President, MST Student Government President, our board member representative, and our senior class president. So I'll bring Rayhan up and then I will show you a video, and then we want to honor a few people that helped us um, bring this program and this opportunity to our high schools. So Rayhan will come down and talk to you a little bit about his experience with TroCare in the Inter High program.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share an experience that has shaped how we think about education and future of students like us. At TroCare College, we had the chance to participate in a cybersecurity program that stands out. What makes this program so special is its flexibility. It's offered during the school year but asynchronous, meaning we can complete our work after school at our own pace. It's like a bridge between high school and college, giving us advanced learning opportunity while balancing everything else we do. This past summer, MST students like the Bennett students from last year participated in a week-long cybersecurity camp on TroCare campus. And this wasn't just any camp. We worked with industry professionals, engaged in hands-on challenges, and even participated in a national cybersecurity competition. We didn't just learn how to stop hackers or avoid scams. We tackled real-world problems like identifying viruses, securing systems, and protecting personal information. These are practical life skills we will carry with us, helping us and even our family stay safe in this digital world. But the camp was more than just cybersecurity. It exposed us to college life and career in a rapidly growing field. After completing the camp, we enrolled in 2 online courses to build on what we learned, earning us 7 transferable college credits. This isn't just this isn't just an academic milestone, but it's a real head start in cybersecurity, a field expected to grow over 30% in the coming years. The course had strengthened our critical thinking and problem-solving skills, which have been valuable in every class we take. As a student representative of this board, I have seen how programs like this empower students. They open doors to opportunities many of us hadn't considered before. If programs like this can thrive at MST and Bennett, why not expand them to every high school? I encourage our wonderful superintendent, Dr. William Knight, to help bring cybersecurity education to all high schools in the district. More students deserve access to these life-changing opportunities. Cybersecurity isn't just a niche skill, it's a life skill. In today's digital world, knowing how to stay safe online is as important as knowing how to read or write. Imagine every high school student graduating with this knowledge, ready to protect themselves, their communities in this digital age. Expanding programs like TroCares would make BPS more engaging, inspire students to stay in this district, and prepare us for success in the technology-driven world we live in. We believe that providing students with these opportunities now will create a safer, more secure digital future for everyone. Together with the support of this board, we can make this vision a reality, helping all students thrive in schools, in their career, and in life. Lastly, I want to thank Mr. Sanjay Galani, Mr. Bill Russo, Mr. Raymond Farrell, Mrs. Christina Torres, Board President Cheryl Belton Cotman, and lastly, our wonderful principal, Mrs. Womack. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to be a part on this, and we'll forever be grateful. Thank you.
At this time, I want to play the video for you guys so you can hear and kind of see what the children did. It's about 4 minutes video, and then we want to honor some very special people that really ensure that this opportunity happened for our students. So we'll watch the video now.
The Trocare College Cybersecurity Camp, featuring the Buffalo Public Schools and MST High School. Starting students in Cybersecurity Camp allows us to give them an immersive education in all areas of cybersecurity, getting them familiar and comfortable on a college campus. Trocare cybersecurity professors are currently business and industry experts in cybersecurity, allowing our cybersecurity camp to bring relevant, real-world information directly to students that meets with current industry standards, allowing them to prepare for jobs that are in demand. Now let's hear from some of our students.
It was actually a cool vibe. I ain't gonna lie. I did like the building. When I first walked into it, did feel like a nurse office or something. Had a cool breeze, had a cool atmosphere, and everybody was cool. Everybody was loud.
Actually, when I first stepped into Trocare, I was not having a high expectation of what the college would look like. I was thinking it's more like Upstate or UB, very old or like very old school, old building, bricks and stuff. But actually, I was very impressed. It was so modern with lights, and it looked like you would want to be there and you would want to go there every single day. It looked very professional. I was really impressed by the environment at Trocare College, and it really hit me hard.
Yeah, it's a great campus. It's advanced technology, and the platform is great for students for learning new technologies.
I feel very good. I learned everything. The professors and the professor colleagues are very nice. They are very friendly to us, and we are enjoyed there.
I already learned a lot, honestly. Like me not even opening my emails, I double check everything. Even from after the first day of going to Trocare with the cybersecurity, like it makes it's real. Like the stuff you learn there, you actually use it in your daily life, and when you go to a different world in a way.
Yeah, it's a good camp because the data is the new asset for this new era. So protecting it, we should all know how to protect it. So the camp all teaches us how to protect it. So it's a great camp for students who can learn cybersecurity.
I like it. It's not bad. I thought it was going to be really boring, but it's not that boring. And I just had learned some new stuff there. So I had fun.
They are very good. They are very helpful. They help us very much because we are like really newbie at this. So
They're pretty knowledgeable, and they also get bigger stuff, right? I would take a college class, and for sure, especially if I get them free college points, I'm always down to go through.
Cybersecurity camp. It was a 5-day camp. My students got to apply real world problems to knowledge that they learned over several days. And right now, they are creating solutions for problems that may occur in the real world. My students were engaged. They were happy to come to Trocare College. I would like to thank Trocare College and Sanjay personally for providing my students with an opportunity to take advantage of real world applications with problems that will occur. This is cutting edge technology that they're using. They're happy, they're engaged, and they're learning.
Before I acknowledge the students, I want to acknowledge adults that really did this work, bringing this partnership together. The first person that I would like to come to the front is Christina Torres, our adult teacher that supported the students, rode on the buses every day for 5 days, ensuring that they have what they needed. Christina is also working with them on their asynchronous course, and I want to thank her publicly. Additionally, the second teacher was Mr. Raymond Farrell. That was a teacher that I was telling you about working with the WISED program. He also rode the bus every day for 5 days in the summer. And he is currently working with the students with their asynchronous course. The next person that we would like to give flowers to is Mr. Sanjay Galani and Mr. Bill Russo. Please come to the front because they work tirelessly with MST administration to ensure that we had the students, we had the families, we received the college credit. And I just thank him for the mentoring and the partnership that he had with me. And these are forever, forever my mentors. Thank you. The next person is a leader in our district. She is a wonderful mentor, supervisor, coach. I can call her on Sundays, and sometimes I do. She is constantly working with me to ensure that we have the opportunities at MST and other high schools throughout the district. ASL Watson, please come up front. And she does not like this attention, but she sat in my office with me, knee to knee, helping me schedule this program and build this program from the ground up. Thank you, Ed. 3 more people. Dr. Kelly Baudo. Dr. Baudo has an MST sweatshirt, and if anybody in this district that doesn't work at MST, that they have an MST sweatshirt, it's because they have helped us on more than one occasion. And Dr. Baudo is one of our heroes because she helped us with this program. The second to last person, there's so much that I can say about this person, but I will just say that she has set the bar high for our district. Me in particular, she has excellence written all over her. She has high expectation, and she knows what she wants, and she is not afraid to tell anyone exactly what she wants, and what she wants is excellence for students. Board President Sharon Belton Hotman, we want to give you your flowers. Mr. Willer. Mr. Willer. And last but not least is our fearless superintendent, Dr. Tanja Williams-Knight. Dr. Knight has never said no. She has always answered the call. She is constantly supportive of MST, and I can say not just MST, but for all of my colleagues in Buffalo Public Schools. Some of my best friends are principals, and we love her leadership and we love her vision, and she's very clear on what she expects. And what she expects is excellence for her students and for her staff. And we at MST believe in her, we support her, and we pray for her. We want her to be great because she wants us to be great. So Dr. Williams-Knight, thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. Now I'm bringing Christina Torres up so she can acknowledge our students. And our students are going to, when you get called by Mrs. Torres, boys and girls, I want you to line here and hold your awards. And at the end of when the last student received their awards, what we are going to do is we're going to call your families up so you can take a picture, and our board will take a picture with you as well. Clear? All right, thank you. Ms. Torres?
Okay, our first student we'd like to recognize is Ryan Forhad. Next, we'd like to recognize Tuhim Ula. Next is Christian Smith. And next is Rayhan Rashid. Next up is Motet Mayant. Next we have Sasa A. We also have Sir Lu Pa. And last but not least, Nathan Nicholson.
At this time, we would like parents, if you can come up, we would like to take a group picture for our website, newsletter, and for our social media. Thank you. And board members, if you could just stand at your seats.
Parents, come up. This is a proud moment because they wouldn't do or be able to do what they've done if they did not have your support.
Additionally, my assistant principal, Sarah Cosgrove, and Gary Wheeler, I would like to publicly thank them because every vision, every decision that I make is in conjunction with them.
So I see, a couple of folks are trying to escape, but I'm going to ask Sanjay and Bill Russo to just come back up. Come on back up. These are two gentlemen that I have known for a very long time, known and respected. And certainly, this is an opportunity that you did not have to select. Buffalo Public Schools, Bennett High School, or MST High School to have this opportunity, but you both worked for years in the Buffalo Public Schools. You dedicated much of your lives to the Buffalo schools, and it is good to see that you are continuing to pour into our students. And so I want to say, if you'd like to say a few words, you can. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but if you'd like to say a few words, certainly we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you. I'll speak a little shorter than Rayhan. The man likes to talk. This is the mayor of MST. That is true. I only have one thing to add. This was a wonderful experience. And Dr. Williams, you mentioned how proud you are of this principal. You should be. If you can get a couple more like that, there's no looking back. Impressive. Impressive leadership. So lastly, I only have one more year to go. So we are hoping we can include a lot more students this time around. So we're gonna work with East, maybe other high schools, and one more year left. Thank you.
Bill?
This is a little overwhelming. So thank you to the board, but mostly thank you to these wonderful students because they were tireless in their efforts and they are the real stars. So thank you to each and every one of those students and Principal Womack. You got something good going on, and I can't wait to work again next summer and get another cohort of kids in the program. So thank you. Thank you.
Can I? So I just want to reiterate what the superintendent said. When you have employees who work for the district, retire, and then work to bring back programs to enrich our children, it's a blessing because they don't have to do it. And this program, believe it or not, does not cost the district any money. And that in itself is like a golden ticket. But it all comes from the can-do attitude. When you put can-do people together, they will rock the boat. And we have can-do people throughout this district, but I want to highlight today MST and the staff here, and Sanjay and Bill Russell, who have come back to continue to provide resources for us. And what I want to say to the young people, I'm so proud of you. You saw me out there on a regular this summer, and I wanted to make, and they really thought because I was conducting buses and everything, and and they were laughing, but I wanted to make sure that if you needed transportation, that I had a vehicle that could get you there, but everything worked out. But what I want to say to you all is that this career in cybersecurity, this is a real opportunity because you guys naturally work computers. And to sit there and be able to do what you did, no one talked about today the assessment that they competed in, the national assessment that they competed in, and how well you did. But I just want to thank you for giving up your summer to do something to enrich your lives. You made my heart feel good. And one thing that's for real, I do push the envelope, but I never do it without permission from the superintendent. So don't get it twisted. I don't go out there doing stuff and don't let her know that Sharon Cotman is stirring the sauce a little bit. Out of respect to her, that's her position, and I want her to always feel that I am respecting her in that position. But I just want to thank each and every one of you for representing BPS in an excellent way. And to the parents, thank you. Thank you for raising your children to the level that they can leave, be away from you, conduct themselves, and make sure that they represent their upbringing, and they really did well. So I want you young people to give Trocaire College a round of applause because they fed you pretty good out there this summer. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
And just to add one more piece, all of this starts with leadership. All of it starts with leadership. I know that, Sanjay and Bill are very careful when they're thinking about schools to expose our students these opportunities. And it starts with the leadership. This leadership team is a dream team. The teachers, I've heard that Mr. Farrell rocked it out at the WASED. He was a superstar. I already know we have a rock star here. I've deemed him the mayor of MST. Some magical things are happening here. And every time that I come and I'm in the midst of your students, I am absolutely amazed. Thank you, parents. Thank you I will treasure my beautiful flowers. I appreciate it. And you had a team here earlier. It looks like they may have left, but your student leadership, what was the name of the team? Student Leadership Network. They're in the back. They're supporting the work that happens here. There was a team of them earlier. I see one gentleman back there now. But thank you so much. Thank you. And I would be remiss if I didn't ask our MBK fellows to come up and take a picture also, because we appreciate that you took time out this evening to be with us. We want to memorialize that. So come on up and take a picture. And if we have parents here who are with these fellows, please feel free to come up. Ask my board members to please stand so we could take a picture with these young men. Are they smiling?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. That's good. Maybe. Do we have any other students that are here tonight with us? Any other Buffalo Public School students or students from other schools? In the back? You know, I can't see well back there, but please stand up so that we can give you a round of applause. We appreciate you being here with us tonight. I see another principal out there too, I think. Is that Mr. Vet? You know, my eyesight is not great, but do we have Principal Vanderlip here?
I do.
Am I jumping ahead?
You are.
Okay, Chief Amos, okay. All right, I'm excited, I'm excited.
That's okay. Greetings, board members. I did not greet you initially because I wanted to read the land acknowledgement first. Greetings, good evening to you. Greetings to the audience. Thank you all for being here as we continue to celebrate our stars. And first, I want to say that we are here both acknowledging and celebrating both National Native American Heritage Month as well as Hispanic Heritage Month. We did have a cancellation in some of our presenters, so forgive us. But you also should have picked up, there's some information about the Seneca Nation of Indians that you all have. Even if we could not do anything else, at least we could share correct information, which was taken from their website. Now, without further ado, we have April Contreras. Did I say that correctly? All right. Who will be coming up. She is from the Hispanic Heritage Council, who sponsored our Hispanic Heritage Essay Contest, or actually Artistic Expression Contest. And we have 3 of our winners here. And I can ask you students, when she calls your name, if you wouldn't mind staying up here so that we can also get a picture of you guys. So thank you. April? Thank you. All right, let me get organized here. Sorry, and as we're getting ready, if you guys take a look, we do have the pictures of our winners on the screen.
Thank you, Daphne. Thank you to the board members. Thank you to Buffalo Public Schools for the continued partnership with the Hispanic Heritage Council of Western New York to support arts and our students. We're excited to present the winners of the Artistic Expression Contest, and I will be presenting the winners with medals as well as checks. So let's get started. So in 3rd place, we have Odalis Ortiz from Hillary Park Elementary School. So please come up.
And her principal, Mr. Vanderlip, is here also. Wow. Thank you.
All right. In 2nd place, we have Ismail Manjana from West Hurdle Academy. He's not in attendance. And in 1st place, we have Trinity Washington from Leonardo da Vinci High School. Thank you.
Okay, we wanted to know if the principal as well as parents could come up and take the picture as well, please. And I see a sibling over there that we're requesting to get in the picture as well.
Awesome. Thank you for your excellence.
Well, that is absolutely wonderful. You know, our students sometimes they're so cool, calm, and collected. I would be doing cartwheels down the aisle because, you know, this was a competitive contest, and I saw what it is that they, you know, drew to express. And, you know, in the last one, it had that the future is in our hands, and it had a couple of hands together. So, again, thank you so much, and thank you to the parents and school and caregivers that came with them, because again, we know that they would not have even had the confidence or the courage to go ahead and submit something without all that you poured into them. So thank you also. So before we get too far into the agenda, we have a special guest with us. And, you know, I love when this guest comes to our board meetings because, you know, he doesn't come empty handed, or as the kids say, he doesn't come short, you know. And so he has these delicious, I remember from last year, I enjoyed the pie and my family enjoyed the pie, and you didn't disappoint. You came with the pies again. Thank you so much. We have our Mr. David Lowry, he represents the Erie County Association of School Boards, the Association of School Boards, and he also came with a very nice T-shirt in all different sizes, and I appreciate the thoughtfulness, and hopefully you will enjoy being here to witness our board meeting tonight. Thank you so much for being with us.
I would like to put David on the spot and have him come up and say something. Because, yeah, oh yeah, David. And I want to share that I attended the annual meeting breakfast that they had. I think it was last Saturday, and it was really a enriching experience to and the things that you're advocating for. We appreciate you. Thank you, David.
Well, before you speak, I just want to say, since we're throwing some things out there, I learned tonight that you went to high school with one of our board members.
I was one of her teachers.
Oh, you were one of her teachers. Oh, okay. Is it
And I went to college with one of your board members.
And you went to college. Okay. So now you got to tell who.
So Cindy was one of my students. Wow. And Teresa was a fellow student at Buffalo State College. We sat together in our freshman year in several classes. So I'd like to thank the Buffalo Board of Education for your time and energy, as well as your support of the Erie County Association of School Boards. I traveled to all 30 school districts in Erie County, and now as the New York State School Board's Area 1 Director, I've picked up schools in Niagara County, Orleans County, Genesee, and Wyoming counties. None of the districts compare to the Buffalo Public Schools when we go to the board meetings. Attending the Buffalo Board of Education is truly an honor. It is wonderful to learn all about the wonderful programs and the successes that the Buffalo School Board is experiencing. This year, we have a diamond level sponsor. The diamond level sponsor is Black Passport Group, which specializes in cybersecurity. We only allowed one diamond level sponsor. Jane Sullivan, who is here tonight with me, our program services manager, and I have been taking notes, and we will be reaching back out to Black Passport Group to let them know about the wonderful programs in cybersecurity taking place between MST and Trocare College. I want to thank you for your participation in the ECASP programs and wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you, David, for always being there, just a call away. Thank you so much. Superintendent? Okay. So without further ado, we will start our speakers. And tonight we have 4 speakers, so that's a good thing. I don't think that I really need to read this for our speakers tonight, but I will anyway. At this time, the board welcomes speakers who have signed up to speak at tonight's meeting. Please be reminded that all speakers' remarks must be limited to 3 minutes or less. We ask that the speakers be mindful that this is a business meeting open to the public and televised locally. Attendees and viewers include persons from throughout Western New York, including children. The board asks that speakers conduct themselves professionally and their comments remain civil and courteous, bearing in mind that they will be heard by people of all ages. If you have printed information to share with us, please do not approach the board table. Provide your information to the district clerk, who will make sure we receive it. This is an opportunity for Buffalo's residents to address the Buffalo Board of Education about its issues that serve the public interest and the district's mission. And the board asks that speakers demonstrate appropriate decorum. Our first speaker tonight is Dorothy Johnson, who's a parent about special education. Welcome, Ms. Johnson.
Okay, I'm not good at this, but I am here to talk about what happened to my daughter, Delana Johnson,
Ms.
in May.
Johnson, before you speak, can you talk a little louder? Because I want the people who are, this is being recorded, to hear you as well.
Okay.
Thank you. And you're among friends, so it's okay. Let us know what we can do to help, okay?
Okay. In May of this year, my daughter was in school. Her personal care aide went on break. She left her with her teacher. Her teacher left her unattended. And I saw the video of what the teacher had to say. Whatever happens, happens. Okay, my daughter went down to the swimming pool and she jumped in. And when she jumped in, she could not swim. The teacher was nowhere around, and a man that works at the school, his name is Devin, he pulled my daughter out of the pool. Now, since this has happened, my daughter has finished with school. She didn't graduate because kids with special needs, they don't graduate. They get a certificate and they get sent on their way. Now, after she finishes school, they were supposed to get her into some type of program. All of a sudden, there's no room for her in any of the programs. And there's no space for her. She does not fit in. So now, what is she supposed to do? Just sit at home and just languish? Now, since this happened in May. My daughter has not slept through the night since May. Everybody is like, oh, she wasn't hurt, because she didn't have to be resuscitated, because she didn't drown. That meant that she wasn't hurt. But kids with autism, they are more susceptible to PTSD than other kids. I mean, it kills me that my daughter will never get married. She'll never have kids. She'll never be able to do these things. So I feel as though she's still being punished for something the teacher did. Another thing, what happened to the teacher that did this to her? The last thing I heard, she was on administrative leave. So what was her punishment? My daughter is still being punished for something that she did on an impulse that she didn't know any better. And I'm really hurt about that. And Dr. Williams, I think you're great. I was a little upset with you that you did not personally call me when this happened, I understand you're busy. I understand you have a lot of students to look over. And the liaison that you had to call me, I was not really satisfied with that. But my thing is, my daughter, this is not the first incident that happened with my daughter in Buffalo. This has been the worst incident that's happened with my daughter in Buffalo. From she was fine when she left home. She got to school. She has a bruise on her face. Go ahead. Finish. Another teacher put her out of the building. She walked across Sycamore Street. She got into a delivery truck, but everything was hush, 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 don't say anything about it. And when something was said about it, that person, the principal, got in that person's butt. And it's like all of these things that were happening with her, it's like, it's not fair. You know, she didn't ask to be born with a disability. And the teacher that she had, she was straight up wrong. And I've heard that she has talked to other kids with a disability that same way. And that's not right. She should not be there. I understand that you guys have pardon my French, a hell of a union, but the thing of it is, these are our kids. I lost one child at 4 months. So it's hard for me. So, I mean, I just wanted it to be known what happened to my daughter. I want to know what happened to the teacher that was responsible for this.
Okay, so what we'll do is, how we normally do this, is that once we'll listen to the three other speakers, and then the superintendent will address you. If you'll wait around, she'll have something to say to you, okay?
I will.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Mrs.
taking
Johnson.
the time to listen to me.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Johnson. Our next speaker is Selena Irene, parent, Native American, Magnet School number 19. Welcome, Selena.
Oh, I lost my speech. Nyawe Scano, Squaguego, Selena Nikiaso, Ono Dowaga, Doshowe, Nege, Agotayoni. I am thankful you are well. I am called Selena. I am Seneca from Buffalo Creek and a member of the Wolf Clan. I had another speech prepared, but I decided to scrap it. I wanted to promote growth in the last year. I want to start and end my speech with a reminder that the National Office of Indian Education Conference is coming to Buffalo, New York in the fall of 2026. The Office of Indian Education Conference attendees will be looking at the Buffalo Native American Resource Program and Native American Magnet School 19 for guidance and advice when visiting. I am here today because the district needs to consider and discuss some serious changes that are needed to balance the Native American population with the lack of cultural competency and qualifications of the administrators at Native American Magnet School 19 and the new Native American Resource Program Coordinator. As I always advocate, our program deserves, like it had in the past, a director position, a supervisor position, a Native American coordinator with lived experiences from our Buffalo Native community, and a national search for a Native American principal for Native American Magnet School 19. I sent a picture to the board of the flag of the Iroquois Confederacy raised. Our flag was raised upside down, and this is the second time that the current leadership at Native American Magnet School has raised our flag upside down. The principal at 19 continues to show no support and effort to help us build up the Native American population. I'm just gonna, I sent the board an email yesterday afternoon. Did you guys receive it? Were you guys able to see it and the picture? Yeah, okay. So I'm running out of time. I have no problem coming here every month. I'm gonna end with the National Indian Education Conference is coming to Buffalo in the fall of 2026. Nyaweh.
Thank you, Mrs. Irene. Emmanuel Radford, Concerned Citizen Suspensions, followed by Edwards Fidel, Parent Election Results. Welcome, Mr. Radford.
You know I don't like being called Mr. Radford.
I know that's your problem.
Good evening, everybody. I got a lot to talk about, not a lot of time. I do want to shout out the principal of MST, though, Miss Womack. She was my English teacher at iPrep, so it's kind of dope to see her being the principal and being successful. So that's dope. I'm here on behalf of my day job. I work at the New York Civil Liberties Union, and I'm here to talk about suspensions. Um, you know, I know in the climate we're in, we don't agree on a lot of things, but I think the one thing we can all agree on in this room is that we all want the best for children. I think if we all start with that premise, we can accomplish some things. I think where the disagreement comes is how we get there. But I think the reality is when you want the best for children, you should be open to suggestions. And so what I'm here to really talk about is adopting the NICED recommendations for suspension, which includes no K through 3 suspensions, a suspension cap of 20 days, and it prohibits suspensions for the minor, subjective, and non-dangerous behaviors. What we've seen early in this year is that a lot of kids are being suspended for, I don't want to say stupid, but stupid reasons. I know I don't, like hall sweeps or like wearing a hoodie or like showing up late to school, which we all understand kids shouldn't be suspended for that, right? When we look at the average daily attendance, we already have an attendance issue. So now you suspend the kids that actually do show up. And what does that say to the children? So my hope is that this board and the board that's coming in takes a hard look at those suspension recommendations, that we implement them, because it's important that we encourage our children, the ones that want to come to school, that's important for them to stay in school. And being late for school should not be a reason you should be suspended. Having a hoodie on, you should not be suspended for that. Having a disagreement with an adult, you should not be suspended for that. We have to show our children that there's a better way, and kicking them out of school is not the solution. Some of them want to be suspended, and we just give them what they want, and then we complain about what those kids are doing or the violence that's going on. We got to start with first telling them that school is important, and we show them that by allowing them to stay in school for reason above anything above violence or they are threats to the school. They shouldn't be suspended for that. And I hope that us as a community, us as a board, we adopt that and we see that if we can keep our kids in school, we can really make a change. Thank you.
Thank you. Our final speaker this evening is Edwards Fidel, Parent.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank the principal of School 67, the principal of School 27, the principal at School 74, and Principal Mike Morris at South Park High School. I worked with the 4 principals in the past couple weeks to solve problems for students. Next, I'd like to congratulate the winners of the school board election. Thank you for a spirited battle and great forums, and I wish you the best of luck for the next 5 years. And I hope to work with you guys to find solutions for children. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fidel. Dr. Williams Knight.
Is that mine? Okay. Being respectful of the time of the people who have come out to share remarks, I'll go ahead and start, even if it begins to buzz a little bit, the microphones. Ms. Johnson, I want to start with you, and I sincerely want to apologize for not personally reaching out. No, I need to do that, and I need to do it on the record, and I need to do it publicly, and to let you know that, what you shared today, I think was heartbreaking for everybody here that heard just a snapshot of some of the experiences that your daughter had and is continuing to have. And, there are times that parents come forward or community members, and I will ask a staff person to reach out because they deal most closely with that work. But in your case, I would like to be able to sit with you. I feel bad that you had to come to a board meeting to be heard, because I do pride myself on my work with parents, and I will be reaching out to you within the next day or so to see how we can support your daughter, and to hear more in detail about, what the experiences were, because I know that tonight you had 3 minutes. Time was short and you were trying to get across a lot, but I want to give you a call and give you the time that's needed so that I can fully understand and see how we can help and support your daughter. And I want to thank you for coming out tonight. Yeah. Miss Irene, always, it's been a while, but it's always good to hear from you, especially during this really important month, even though we don't just want to celebrate a month. We want to always uplift the Native American heritage. And, I did see today the email that you shared with respect to the Iroquois Confederacy flag being raised upside down. And certainly, on behalf of our district and behalf of Native American Magnet School and on behalf of our board, I want to apologize that that happened. And if I'm able to, I would really like to just share with you some words that were written by the principal, Mr. Suala, from School 19. On behalf of my team and I would like to apologize for the Haudenosaunee flag being put up incorrectly. It was done incorrectly on November 5th, Election Day, and was corrected on 11/6 before school began. It was put up when no students or staff were present and was immediately corrected in less than 24 hours. It was unintentional and meant no disrespect from myself or anyone else in the Native American Magnet School number 19. As our school vision shares, all students, every culture, one future. We strive for excellence in all that we do for our students and families. And again, we sincerely apologize for the flag being raised incorrectly. We love our Native families as well as all families at School 19, and we strive to continue to grow and work together with all of you. Please stay well and stay safe. And these were the words that were written by the principal of the school, and I do hope that they resonate. It is a sincere apology that was written. I didn't coax them to write it, or, these are words that were written from the heart, from him. As you know, the Native American program is in a period of transformation. It's going to be fully under our Department of CLRI, and I know that I've worked quite a bit with Board Member McCosey She has shared, some of the concerns that she's had, and I've heard them. And so Chief Amos is very excited about the program coming to her department, as is Director Willis. And they're very excited to work with you and with the whole NARP team. And I'm just, we're excited about the conference that's going to be coming in the fall. We know we've got a lot to do to get ready because we want to showcase the best. So we've got a lot to do. They know that they've got my support. They've got the support of the board. We're going to pull together and we're going to put on a dynamic conference for them when they come. So we will be ready. We will be ready for them. Thank you for coming out tonight. Emmanuel, is he still here? Oh, okay. He is here?
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay, okay. We had a great meeting earlier, so he knows that, I hear, I'm a superintendent that listens. And one of the things that he shared that resonates the most is that we all want the best for our children. That's what our one voice, one vision, one mission is all about. He mentioned that students are continuing to be suspended for hoodies, for being late to school, and I'm going to ask Dr. Brown to please reach out to Mr. Radford and to find out where those things are happening at, because I know in our code of conduct, that's not something that we endorse happening. So I'm going to ask you to please reach out to Mr. Radford to discuss some of that. And Mr. Spidell, I don't need to say a whole lot, but I want to say thank you for coming forward. It was a probably in all of the years I've been in Buffalo Public Schools, I think this is my 35th year, this race was a very spirited, as you shared, race. And, the great thing is that every candidate that was in the race wanted the best for our children and was, constantly lifting that up. And I think, it took a lot for you to come because I know you were in it, your heart was in it. And so I'm sure that the board members who are on the stage with me, as well as, board members that will be coming onto the stage in another, few weeks, appreciate your words. And I believe that they are very sincere. So thank you for that. And that's it.
I'd just like to share something that happened last week. I ran in for Mrs. Irene. I ran into some Native American women from Salamanca, and they have an extensive program. And Superintendent, I didn't get a chance to talk to you yet about it. And I would like to reach out to them because um, I've been talking also to Mrs. Irene, and they have, just to find out what their program looks like. In addition to that, yesterday, the person from the state ed was in a meeting that I was in Albany, and this afternoon, the superintendent and I talked about reaching out to him to get additional information about the Native American program. So don't think that you're not being a Native American program is not being worked. It is. And so what we want to do, and I'm sure staff will also be a part of this, is finding out what the best practices are in Salamanca. And I understand that they have a museum out there, a Native American museum, and some other things. So we're going to we're going to continue to grow that program under the new umbrella that it's going to be under. So don't think that you're not being remembered and thought about, okay? All right, thank you. All right, Superintendent, we're going to turn this over to our student representative, who is what did you say, the mayor? The mayor of the school, board member, Rahan Rashid, is it? Did I say it right? Okay. With his monthly report.
Hello, everyone again. I would like to start by sharing some exciting news from our Inner High Student Council. We recently held our vice president elections, and I'm happy to announce that Isra Jahan, a senior from iPrep, has been elected as our vice president for Inner High Student Council. I want to congratulate Isra, although she's not here. Her dedication and commitment to representing student voices make her a great choice for this role, and I'm looking forward to seeing the positive impact she will bring. I would like to introduce other executive officers that are working along with me. Nadwa Rage, our secretary, senior from MST, Adnan Hossein, senior from Olmsted. Each of them brings unique perspective and incredible passion to our council, and I'm excited to work with them this year. In our last Inner High meeting, we discussed some key goals and initiatives for our upcoming years. A major focus for us is to increase student engagement and awareness of what Inner High has to offer. We're exploring different ways to reach more students, like setting up social media accounts, holding informational tables at lunches, and visiting other schools to talk about the benefits of joining Inner High. We believe these efforts will help more students feel connected and informed. We'll also prioritize some impactful service projects. Our council members have come up with some great ideas, including setting up food pantries, organizing hygiene product drives, creating wellness gardens, and conducting environmental cleanups. These projects reflect our commitment to supporting our schools and our local communities, and we're excited to see the positive impact they will have. Finally, I want to welcome all of you to MST, the school we are proud to call home. It's a place with strong values, inspiring teachers and students who are truly dedicated. Above us, you will see whatever you do, let it be done well, a face that guides us every day. It's part of who we are, and we are excited to share that with you today. Thank you for your time and attention, and I hope to see you guys again.
Listen, this young man, he's state of the art. And one of the things that I did do in going to some conventions was to take seminars, and we talked about it, about lifting student voices. So we're going to be doing that more. What I would respectfully ask that you have submit a copy of that so it can be a permanent part of the record, if you'd be kind enough to do that. Okay, appreciate that. Superintendent's update. She has a brief update today. Lisa.
Okay, for my update, it will be fairly brief, and it'll be a discussion. I believe that Assistant Superintendent Dr. Laura Samolsky-Peters, who is Dr. Ebony Bullock's right hand, her right and her left hand, and I know that Dr. Bullock is watching tonight. We talked before coming here today, and she said, you know, I can't be there, but I'll be watching. So, hello, Dr. Bullock. Dr. Samolsky-Peters works in our Office of Shared Accountability, and that's our office that deals with a lot of data. When you've got 30,000 students in 60 different schools and $1 billion budget, you've got data. You know, we've got a lot of data. And we've been working closely with the Council of Great City Schools on setting goals and guardrails. And she's going to be talking tonight a little bit about a data monitoring calendar so that our board members are informed ahead of time on what it is we'll be discussing with respect to the superintendent's goals and guardrails. So I'll turn things over to you, Dr. Samolsky-Peters.
Thank you, Dr. Williams-Knight, and thank you, honorable board members, for having me today. I believe you all have a copy of this document at your seat. So this is a draft of the monitoring calendar that was really a team effort, a really large collaboration between the Office of Shared Accountability, the Office of Curriculum Assessment and Instruction, Dr. Williams-Knight, of course, the Office of Shared Leadership of School Leadership, and Dr. Crestes. We all worked really hard to come up with a schedule of presenting data to you that made sense and that was timely. So we wanted to make sure that the data was available and able to be scrubbed in a timely manner so that it would get to you. You would be able to view it ahead of time and be able to have questions prepared. But this will help us, especially in our office, knowing when those deadlines are, when we need the data to be ready to go. And so I just wanted to go over this with you today. I know that you've just received this today, so if you have any questions on the document, you can reach out to Dr. Williams-Knight, and she will get those questions to the appropriate office or offices. And so I just wanted to quickly go through and let you know that we are in November already, so today you'll see on the calendar that we're presenting a draft of the monitoring calendar. In December, also at the last meeting, Ann Botticelli already started providing you with some of our data for the year that related to the goals and guardrails. So you already received the math data at the last work session. So also coming up in December, you'll receive the ELA data, the literacy data, and you'll also receive our high school goal updates. So that will happen in the month of December. And we'll also be talking to you about some of the supports that we have put in place in order to make sure that we're addressing these goals and guardrails in our schools. In January, we're going to continue the discussion around supports that we have going on in our schools in order to ensure that our students are meeting these goals that we've set for them, as well as meeting the goals that we have for the grade levels that maybe aren't in the goals. So we'll talk more about supports in January. In February, we're going to provide you with a state assessment overview. That won't be new data. That will kind of be how we've been doing on our state assessments, our 3 through 8 and regions. We can also talk to you about how the tests have been changing and what that means in our data sets. In March, we will provide an update after the Q2 grades for high school, which addresses several of our high school, or both of our high school goals rather, as well as the middle of year ELA data. In April, we will bring the middle of year math data to you. In May, we'll update on the high school goals again because the Q3 will have ended, so we'll have another update on our high school goals. And then during the summer months, so in June, July, August, and even into September and possibly October, that's when we'll be providing the updates on how we actually did with respect to the goals. So as the final data becomes available, we will present those updates. And as we get closer to those summer months, we will be able to add to this calendar and know exactly when we'll present those data sets to you with respect to the final goals. So does anybody have any questions right now while we're here? I know if you have additional questions, we can always send them to the superintendent, but if anybody has anything right now, we can try to address it. Thank you.
Just one question, Dr. Peters. So the dates on the left, for example, December 11th, you're going to provide Q1 grade 9 data. So when does the board expect to receive that?
So if this is accepted as the final calendar, our goal would be to give you 2 weeks with a data set before it's presented. Sometimes it might be just a little bit less depending on when the data is available, but we really worked hard to try to put these dates on the calendar so that it would give us time to clean the data, make the charts, and get it to you with 2 weeks before the actual meeting. Now in December, we're close to 2 weeks before that December 11th meeting. I know that sounds crazy, but we are. So that one might be a little shorter, but as the year goes on, we will be able to better space that out. You're welcome.
May I ask a question? So, thank you, Doctor, for presenting this calendar. I have a couple of questions or statements, maybe. Is it possible to include somehow in your reporting um, the parent involvement piece or the parent engagement piece, how schools are engaging the parents to let them know about the success of their students or the progress of their students. I'd like to see, something a little more universal, so that the board will know that school A, is doing certain things. The other thing, doctor, and this might be something that you might have to work on if you agree to it, is to set up some sort of incentive for the schools that are working and meeting the marks. And just to do maybe like an honor roll or highlight maybe at the board meeting, they don't have to come down or whatever, but maybe we can roll it or whatever, scroll and say this school, and just to acknowledge the excellence that's going on during this process. I think that would go far with staff to be encouraged to continue to do it. Those are the two things that I just would like to add. Does anyone else have anything? Yes, Jennifer Makuzi.
So I have something very similar, uh, but also looking into the schools that are doing great and having them maybe a best practice model for some of our schools that are maybe struggling or looking to be better, and just to have that not be something that, yeah, that's what we're doing or that's in PD, but have that be part of a reporting practice of, incentives or however we go about it, but then also how can we make sure that even though every school climate is different, that at least that par is met, that our schools that are doing great are, can be examples for.
Okay. So it's so interesting that you shared that because already, at least for the parents, I've sent something out to our parents to let them know kind of what our goals are so they know that, and it can't be a one and done. So, information will continue to go out to them. It'll be on Wednesday with Williams. But I hear what you're saying embedded in some of this. How are we also including making sure our parents are informed? But the second piece, I'm excited about something that we've embarked upon this year already. And the schools will tell you if you reach out to your school principals, especially for our elementary schools. I just got my first grouping from 4 of our elementary schools, and every month I'm getting information from an additional 4 elementary schools. And it's not teaching to the test, but I am interested in seeing the writing skills of our children. And so they've submitted their information. It came in yesterday. My assistant has, from 4 schools for our 3rd graders, what their writing is looking like right now. And I'll be having some of my team and we'll sit down and look at it and give some feedback to some of the children and, share with parents some of the things that they can do to help to encourage that those writing skills are continuing to increase. We'll be doing the same thing for math. Now, math is a little tougher, a little harder, but we'll be doing, I understand that during one of the committee meetings where I couldn't be present, that there was a math problem that was shared and it was not easy. So, it's a little tougher. We also will be starting with our 1 to 2 minute videos. My PR director, Jeff Hanman, is working very closely with Ms. Botticelli, with Ms. Wagstaff, so that we can get up on our website a litany of 1 to 2 minute videos that parents can click on and see, kind of what's being taught by one of our expert teachers. It'll be fun. It'll be informative, but it will help them to be able to help their children at home in ELA and math. So I'm excited about us getting those. I think he's already worked with Chief Botticelli on the ELA ones, or is it the other way around? Is it the math ones we have and we're working on ELA? We've got math. Okay, so I'm hoping that before the winter holiday, that we'll be able to have all of that uploaded, and parents can just go on to the website and click and see, what's the best way to teach fractions, what's an easy way that I as a parent can do some of that. So,
Yes,
Dr. Tandrus, thank you. I just have a question based upon this information. A lot of times we receive call from parents that said a child was at one school, they didn't perform very well, and they transfer them to a different school, and they're doing very well. Is there a way through this that we can track the children and also use it as a tool that different administrations can look at other administrations at the same time, see what they're doing, so they can co-work together on trying to achieve this?
So I can answer the first piece of it. We do track the children, so their scores throughout the year, follow them if they go to different schools. And the principals do have the teachers looking at that information. As far as principals sharing best practices, I think that's something we could talk about with the Office of School Leadership.
Yeah, I think that would be a great solution, or even a jump start to see, what can we do better, and what can we achieve, and even work with the same kids to see identify what helped them, do better at different areas. Thank you.
Hi. So thank you for the presentation, and I want to just lift up the fact that we have the monitoring calendar and we got here, and that's an achievement in and of itself. So I recognize that, and I can't speak on behalf of the implementation team or the board, but I can speak on myself. Thank you. I know that work, and I do just want to remind the board members, as we're sitting here, we agreed to, goals and guardrails, and we're moving this forward, and here we are with a monitoring calendar now. But it's so important that we stick to the script, if you will, and what we agreed upon. And I just want to recognize, it's not fair to you guys that we continue to add and change and modify, and I know that confuses the process. And so I just want to remind us and have us and challenge us to be cognizant of the fact that we did make some agreements, and the team has shown up and responded, and we've agreed, and we need to be aware of that and stick with it. So thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to say, I'm the one standing here, but this really was a huge team effort. It was a big collaboration. It took a lot, and I'm sure they're all okay with me saying thank you for acknowledging.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely,
You
absolutely. The
deserve a round of
team,
applause. Thank you.
I mean, we met as a group maybe about a week ago. We're looking at data. We're talking about, holistic things, holistic measures. But just to get this, I mean, I know it's just a couple of sheets of paper, but certainly, Board Member McEachern, I'm glad that you've acknowledged the amount of work that it took to do this, to look at, the goals and guardrails, and to get those interim measures done. It meant that staff had to put things that they had prioritized aside and make sure that they really, made this work a priority. So thank you so much for acknowledging that.
And as part of the implementation team, I think Dr. Evans Brown and I would be in agreement that this is something that we had envisioned, and we knew that it was going to be a process, and it was a little difficult at times as we were trying to, but that is the road to change and the road to progress, so we do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Kudos.
Thank you.
It really is very warming to see this sport move in the direction that it's going in. I need a motion to accept the previous board meeting minutes from October the 9th, 2024. I see Jennifer's hand first, and I see Kathy's hand second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, with that, we're going to move forward to our consent agenda. Our first issue up is resolution for Buffalo Sewer Authority Partnership, Mr. Hurd. And Mr. Hurd is the only board member with questions today. Thank you.
Okay. My question concerning this is that the 20 properties are not identified in this resolution. Is there properties that are identified that we can pinpoint with this resolution before we get into it?
You mean to list the properties or to give the rationale?
The list of properties.
I don't have the list of properties with me to provide, but it's various schools that have large parking lots that contribute significant runoff to the sewer system. So it'd be adding elements of those parking lots.
My question
But I
with
can
this,
provide that list tomorrow.
my question with this, Mr. Hills, is that the 20 properties wasn't identified, and I'm just talking about a property that we had been over with the board before. I'm not going to name the name of the company or the property, but it was a development project that was proposed that was to sit next to All High Stadium behind Bennett High School, and another charter school. And with that, if this improvement goes, I know that we have a one sewer that runs underneath the school there.
Correct.
That may have been preventative to other development projects going on in that location. And I just want to see, was this identified that if possibly at that location, if this was put in place, would that sewer be then specified by a city or any other element to be able to sustain any other lifts on it?
So these are properties that have been identified by the sewer authority in a whole portfolio of properties that it's not necessarily going to be the sewer infrastructure, but it will be the design of the lot, adding tree trenches, adding holding tanks under the parking lots to prevent runoff from the parking lots from entering the sewer system. So really it's a benefit to the collective whole of the city in limiting runoff that taxes the sewer system. I do not believe that property is one of the properties identified, but I can produce that list.
Okay. Yeah, my only concern was that if that load was taken off that sewer by using this the green infrastructure, then it might be deemed usage for more development, more property, and that was my concern, to make sure we're not promoting that type of development.
Yeah, the intent is to reduce overflow into the sewer system. And from my recollection, but I will produce a list, it doesn't include that parking lot behind Bennett on Mercer, or on,
Okay, yeah, thank you, Mr. Hills.
I have a quick question. That would be parking lots at 20 of our sites, you're saying? Will
Yes.
that be during school?
there
the
will be an
school year?
MOU, and it will be completely at our discretion when the timing of these projects are. So it will not be in any way disruptive of our program.
Okay, good. That was just my concern. Thank you.
As it is ours.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Our next question is 35, Mr. Hurd, 35E, bus passes for adult education division students.
Yes, I would just like to say thank you for hearing our concerns about adult bus passes, Dr. Reynolds, and that they're not going to be judged as the same as student bus passes, are having different variances of time usage, and that our adults educational bus pass can go on as the board wanted it to go on. So thank you so much for hearing our cry with that and helping our students in the adult education division.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Hurd for 48R, Kenmore Lanes, 2425. Dr. Romano.
Okay, my concern with the Kenmore Lanes project is a great initiative for us Buffalo Public School students, but as we worked out the modified sports program for the past several years, is that we also had minority-owned bowling alleys that wanted to be included on the list, that was included on the list, that's not here at Kenmore Lanes. I want to know, was there another location and I'm referring to Kearns Bowling Alley. It's a minority-owned bowling alley that agreed with the district that they wanted to support Buffalo Public Schools bowling and youth bowling. And it was really subjected to use because it was able to address kids that lived in that area and went to school in that area. And I just want to know where were they at on the list, or where we at with that process also as we use Kenmore Lanes for this purpose?
I can check. I can tell you that last year, the same issue arose, and in our communication with Kearns, and given the number of teams that we have, Kearns is unfortunately unable to accommodate all of our teams. And so that's why we are going with Kenmore Lanes for the full program.
I believe as we did the survey previously, it stated that it was 3 bowling alleys that were included in the beginning that couldn't serve all our teams because we had too many students for it. So we had to take our students and break them off and place them in different bowling alleys across different sections of the city. And Currents was one of them. So Kenmore Lanes was one of them. So they couldn't hold the capacity of all our children. They have to use every single lane, but they also had adult bowling going on with the bowling leagues. So I just want to know, just make sure that Kearns isn't being passed up in this process, and that it wasn't to hold all the students, but just a certain number of students that went to schools in those areas.
I can double check. I'll definitely double check with athletics.
Member Makuzi.
So I do know, based on my daughter who was on the bowling team years ago, that there were many bowling alleys that wanted to be a part of this. I think we should look into the fact that there were their bar for their bowling alley. The placement of bars is a reason why some bowling alleys couldn't be considered. There were so many, because we were trying to do this years ago because the kids were not able to really carry out a huge program back, and she graduated in 16. So I just know that there is an ongoing effort, but we are limited to certain spaces. And the only thing that I'm saying is, yes, let's look into it, but let's also not hold up the process, because there are kids who really enjoy this sport, and they get held up, or they can't, practices get canceled. And she played 4 sports, but this was her favorite out of all of them. So it's devastating to the kids. So
Sure.
I would like to see it not get held up in process, if we can figure something out and then add along the way.
Okay, so I want to put my 2 bits in on this. First of all, the service term does not start until July, okay? And my concern here is that I agree with Mr. Hurd that there should be opportunity, and our children should be able to go into a building and not sit at a bar if they're not of legal age, and it shouldn't even be a conversation because they're still on school on a school project and on school time. But I do not feel that it's okay to every year continue to overlook certain people. And let me explain why I'm very concerned about this, because and I'm sorry that his name was brought up, but the owner of the bowling alley that's been discussed is affiliated with national organizations and that provide scholarships for our kids. Okay, and so to not allow or have a conversation with that, and our children are not receiving the same resources or the things that other districts are receiving because of the affiliation. So we need to look into making sure that, and it's a little less than normal this money. I think it's less teams this year, it looks like. I think normally we're around 24 or something, but whatever. I think we need to always look at making sure that opportunity is available for all people and outside of other communities. And that's what my concern is for this one. And we've talked about this for the past how many years? How many years have we talked about this? Many years.
5 years
Okay.
I've been here. And so just for the record, that I believe that all the bowling alleys have bars located
Yeah,
within
they
them.
do.
So
They do.
what they agreed to do was shut down the bar and no alcohol sales during the time period that our children are using the services. So I don't think the bar was the biggest aspect in it. It's just we're looking at equity, and we're looking at children being able to go, more children be able to bowl, and also be able to bowl in places around their home, so it'll be easier to get transportation back home from the location instead of going all the way across town and catching buses back at 9 and 10 o'clock at night. So
I'll get additional information. And just to be clear, it's not to say that the conversation didn't ensue this year. I'm just not aware. I'm aware of the conversation and communication from last school year. So I'll certainly provide an update.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Carestas, I'm going to ask if we can pull this item until the next meeting. Dr. Reynolds, do you want to weigh in?
Only want to weigh in. You mentioned that The service term actually started July of 2024.
So I'm sorry, it started in 24, so it's
Oh,
not. It's
24.
one more month. I'm sorry, yeah, I stand corrected. It's one more month. I just want to make sure that we're doing, so what you did is it started in July, and now you're asking us to extend this until June of 25.
Yes,
Okay.
the
so
season has
Are you
started.
saying that we have not paid him any money? This was not approved last year?
It was approved last year. So this is for the new school year, but the season has started.
Right, but I need some clarity here, okay? Last year, when we approved this, do you know when we approved it for? Can we bring it up under our research? Yeah, it would be. Hold on a minute. I just want to make sure, because what cannot continue to happen is that the same thing keeps going over and over, and the board keeps bringing up their concerns, and somehow or another, it's always the issue, because we're about to talk about Section 6 in a minute, and it's always about, let's make it happen because we don't want to penalize the children, and nothing ever gets changed. And I'm not saying we're going to change this, but what I'm saying is that I feel that there deserves to be a discussion about bringing new people on. Feel that we deserve that. So if you don't want to, if you have a problem with it, pulling it for 1 month, then certainly it should have been in here back in August. If it was time was right.
I understand. May I ask,
Let me just bring it up under library. See what they did.
Dr. Reynolds, are we able to vote on the item today?
We talked about pulling it. Did you hear the superintendent say she was talking about pulling it?
Dr. Williams-Knight?
So what are the ramifications? Right now, we have no contract.
We don't have a
with-
contract. We don't have an approved board item. The season has started. And so if we're pulling until the December 17th board meeting, we will likely not have a contract until after the new year. I mean, if we must pull it, we must pull it. What I was expressing again is that it's not that a conversation hasn't happened. It's not that the concerns of the board has not been considered. Conversations have happened. However, we have to make sure that we're using a facility that can accommodate our program. Kenmore Lanes can accommodate the full program.
So my question again would be, would our students suffer and not be able to bowl if we don't do
Right,
this
that's the question.
now?
Yes.
Okay,
you.
well, if that's the case, and the children will be impacted.
They won't
So
be able to
you don't have a
practice.
contract now, and they're bowling or they're not bowling?
The season has just started, so they need to practice and they need to compete.
Okay, so in July, the season is what? They're practicing?
That's just the term. That's the term of this board recommendation from July through the end of June.
How many teams or what schools are represented in this bowling league here?
It's on the board recommendation, and all of it's a total of 36, 18 boys, 18 girls. And the schools are listed here.
Okay, but the problem is that we know that Kenmore can't accommodate the full capacity of our entire school district. So we need other lanes to help to accommodate our needs for bowling alleys. So more children have opportunity to bowl and learn how to bowl. Bowling is another way that we can get college scholarships, that they can go and have vast careers. So we want to make sure we give every child an opportunity. So my ask is that we look into other bowling alleys, other bowling lanes that we spoke to in the past, and we had this conversation the last 4 years, and that it shouldn't be just included to one bowling lane, one bowling alley. That we use the resources for other bowling alleys, so other kids have opportunities. So that's my ask.
Would we please consider this, if we can
Pass
vote on
this and
this, and then we
at
can
the
still
same time-
consider, because maybe even though Kearns is not able to accommodate the full program, maybe some of the kids can practice there. You know, we're all in favor. We want to include our local bowling alleys. We certainly understand that, but we don't want our students to be at a disadvantage. So I ask that you please vote on this item.
So what I'll do is I would like to rescind the request, that we pull it. And what I hear you and what I hear some of the other board members sharing is perhaps if this is passed, because we don't want to harm any children, but at the same time, if we can continue to explore if there's the opportunity for us to add another alley for, practice or, whatever it is. But what we're asking the board to do tonight is to vote on this tonight so that no children are harmed. Please
I
and
have
thank
one
you.
more question. Would having this, being able to open up this to explore this, that wouldn't hinder our contract with Kenmore Lanes? They wouldn't be like, you can't just use us and us alone. Because I'm looking at all of the.
That's a great
So
question.
I'm saying have the conversations
Mhm.
for sure.
Sure.
But I want to put out there that, what if Kenmore Lanes is like, no, we don't want that. And then we're in a pickle because this is a real concern and I'm genuinely down with it. But I also want to point out that we have to look into all possibilities and what would be the district's next step if that's a scenario. So I'm, I
So
don't,
we'll
I
definitely
understand
look
people are
into
mad
that.
at the concept, but it could be a reality. So let's think about how we approach that next step when it happens and not leave Dr. Reynolds and everyone in the lurch knowing that's a possibility.
Say this, when we, in our previous meetings, we worked out the transportation, 3 separate bowling alleys. Then we also worked out security being present at the 3 bowling alleys also. And then transportation home. So they had a call to make sure that child was being picked up, or we had some means for children to get home that was displaced, that maybe lived across town. We didn't want children going through different certain neighborhoods or different times that they weren't part of their neighborhoods or not affiliated. So we wanted to make sure that it wasn't a safety hazard or a risk for children to be walking and waiting on buses in the middle of the night. So that's why we had 3 separate bowling alleys on each side of town that they could accommodate more students, but also make sure that children get home safely. So this conversation was had before, and there should have been notes on it. And we had this with the community members, principals, coaches, families, and students was present at some of the meetings. So this is just one of the programs, but I think that we really should invest in making sure that from this point on that we can include all bowling alleys that's in the area, because it seemed like those previous conversations that everybody wanted to be involved with it, and it wasn't an isolated type program.
Thank you.
So the board has spoken. Moving forward, we want to would probably be a good idea to bring this to educational support before it's brought to the board next time. That's
Will
my
do.
suggestion. I said next time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mr. Hurd, oh, I want to correct the record. I said originally 48R. It is item 18R. I want to correct that for the record. And our final question this evening is for 22C, Section 6 dues. And I guess the time is of the essence that we got to pay them too, huh? Mr. Hurd?
Yes, this has been an ongoing conversation. We received a couple of calls from board members about paying the dues and the substantial amount. And I believe that we wanted to be asked for more information, I believe 2 months ago about this. And what I wanted was just to find out what our other school districts paying and what's the formula that Section 6 is using. I read the attached document about the Section 6 Athletic Council to the superintendents and athletic directors from January 8th. But we wanted to see what other districts were paying also, since the huge increase that they're asking for the Buffalo Public Schools to pay for the Section 6.
So you asked for the information last board meeting. I provided you with not only the letter, but you should have an itemized list that includes all of the schools and the districts within Section 6. So you see everyone's charges. Yes. The color-coded itemized spreadsheet.
Okay, yeah. I didn't see that as the 2 days.
So I have a question on this. So are we paying per student or we're paying based on our student population?
We are paying the formula, actually, if you take a look at the top of the spreadsheet that I provided, Section 6 assesses the fees based upon their Section 6 fee. It's equal to the class fee plus the number of sports times 150. And then for the schools that have cross-country and football, there's an additional $90 football fee, $90 boys lacrosse, and $90 girls lacrosse. So that's the formula that is used.
I'm a little confused here. The question was, is it based on the amount of students that take it, or is it based on the amount of students that are enrolled? Because this bill doubled, okay, from last year. And so now, if you look at this, we're paying more than probably 7 districts total together. So we're paying 160, what is this, 160 something thousand dollars. And from my perspective, we're paying, I feel like, I can only think that it equates to how they felt at the Boston Tea Party, when they threw the tea in the lake and said taxation without representation, okay? And this is how I'm feeling in regards to this, because for whatever reason, we are not properly treated, in my opinion, well, for the amount of money that we spend for this to this organization. Now, for whatever reason, some board members might want to say, we should go ahead and pay this. Well, fine. If we owe it, we owe it. But what I'm saying is, it's not equitable. It's not fair. Okay, that Buffalo Public Schools is paying the lion's share and not getting proper representation when things occur. If anything, there's always a fight because we are always being spotlighted because of who we are. And so I am so through, I'm so done with being treated like this. So I'm going to assume that it's based on the amount of students we have. It has to be.
Well, that's the classes are. So when you, again, if you take a look at the top of the spreadsheet, it provides you with the number of students per class. So you see that AAA are for schools with 1,084 students and above. AA, 800, thank you, 661 through 1,083, et cetera.
Well, I need some clarity on this because $165,000 is a lot of money, and yes, if the 162,000 is a lot of money, and so you can help me out. You know, I do have a little bit of a math aptitude here, but this is not making me feel any better. This formula, and I'm wondering if the formula needs to be adjusted to take into consideration that we're being, somehow or another feels like we're being penalized for being a large district. So we can work this out.
Board President, I mean, it is a lot of money, but I do want to assure you, because I actually tabulated as well using the formula. It's the same formula for all of the schools. So we're not being treated any different.
I don't think you understand. I have no problem with that. I really feel that the other schools get represented properly. The other school districts get represented. My problem is I don't feel that we get represented properly by Section 6. Now I'm out dealing with Syracuse at the Big Five. They have the same concern about Section 3. Okay, so it's not as if Buffalo is the only school that has a concern about this. That's a lot of money for somebody not to be trying to make sure that things work well for your biggest paying client. I'm customer centric, that's all. So it is what it is, okay? But I just want you to know, it's not okay. It's not okay with me.
Is there a way that, I mean, I agree, only because I feel like if that's the same formula across the board and the numbers match, like she said, it is what it is. But at the same time, what is it as being the second largest district in the state, with the poverty level in Buffalo, New York, with the students that we have in our statistics around our climate? Is there any, I don't know, any type of, what's the word I'm looking for, people? Any type of like help or anything like that? And if not, why? Because this is, again, this is not something that we have documentation of how often we're butting up against Section 6. And we have documentation of how often Section 6 is not really representing our students. Like we have family, we have so many folks who can testify to that. So I guess what I'm asking for is not, if this is what it is, I'm just asking that our athletics department and that you, Dr. Reynolds, can maybe look into how can we advocate in a much better, how can we, has anybody ever advocated for the fact that our district just doesn't match up to, as far as our family status and what our students go through, it's a whole different level. So there has to be accommodations, maybe is the word I was looking for. I don't know if we ever looked into that. So that's just my ask, is that if we take some of our statistics, other than the fact it's the same formula across the board, and maybe look into Section 6 as to how can we accommodate for our students who go through more on an uglier side than a lot of our other students in our suburban districts. That's what I'm looking for, and hoping that, we have those conversations.
The equity is what I hear you talking about.
What have you done for me lately is what I'm talking about.
So that's a conversation that I think we can have. We don't know where it will go, but it's a conversation that we can have.
I think it's just one more feather. It is what it is. Thank you. Any additional questions on this consent agenda? If not, Mary, our counsel, would you please? I'm sorry. Is there?
Our student rep would like to share something before we take a vote on it, on the bowling matter.
As a captain of our bowling team for MST, I thought it would be best for me and my team to advocate for this matter. I hope whatever decision is made in this board tonight, I hope you guys look from a student perspective and do what's best for the students so it does not mess up our bowling schedule, because we are looking forward to our Tuesday game and hoping to win and bring back a W to MST. And I hope you guys could make whatever decision. I know I trust you guys that you guys will make the right decision and help us get that win for MST. And I will leave off with that, and thank you.
Terry.
Okay, so when I became principal of South Park, it was during their transition into Section 6. And I was totally against it. I thought, our Harvard Cup and everything of our history, and I fought the other Dr. Williams on it. And I will have to say, being part of the Section 6 organization has given kids in the city of Buffalo an opportunity they would never have had. When we drove up to their first state championship for South Park High School in Syracuse, I called up Dr. Williams from the stands and said, Dr. Williams, I was wrong. My kids would never have been at the Syracuse Dome experiencing a state championship. So I think, sure, have you, we encountered some issues, But boy, our kids have gotten some opportunities that they've never would have had without being in Section 6.
Thank you for the comment. Um, I was looking over here because normally you're over there. Thank you. Can you poll the board, please?
For point of order, I don't believe we have a motion on the floor at the moment.
Hmm?
We need a motion on the floor at the moment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Motion, second.
Thank you. On the consent agenda, Vice President Evans Brown. No exceptions. Board Member Hurd.
No objections.
Board Member McKecken. Board Member McCosey. Board Member Rivera. Board Member Shuta. Vice President Scott.
Recuse on 20A, affiliation, and then no exceptions.
Board Member Woods.
Just a quick question. Did you pull the current item? Is that being pulled?
It was not being pulled based on the discussion that took place.
Well, then, you rescinded it? Oh, okay. As long as it's rescinded, then I have no exceptions.
It was, for clarity, the rescinding was the suggestion to pull it, just so that Board Member Woods knows the status.
We would have had to vote on that.
Well, then I have an exception on that because promoting MBE, WBE is very important, and that item did not do that. So I have an exception on that, but the rest are okay.
Okay.
Which item do you know?
It is item number 18R.
18R. Thank you, just for clarity for the record. And President Belton Cotman. 18Q, I had it.
On this sheet is.
Oh, 18Q?
On this sheet is 18R. Thank you. Thank you.
And that is noted for the record.
Thank you. I'm going to recuse myself for 3A, line 10, affiliation. I am going to vote no for the Section 6 item. That is item number 22C.
And other than
that, no exceptions.
The consent agenda passes.
Thank you. Okay, let's see if we can wrap this up. We have some unfinished business, and first thing up, can I have a motion to establish a commissary advisory committee? Board members will each nominate a member of this committee, and the board will vote on the slate of nominees at a future board meeting. We need to bring it to the table before we can question it. Okay, so
moved for that motion.
Okay, thank you, Woods. Second by Shuta. Now, you can open for discussion.
Will the members of this committee be only the people that we are nominating? It'll be or are there going to be other members that'll be invited?
Superintendent?
It would be members that this group nominates.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Are we in agreement? Ready to take the vote? Do you want to do it individually? We can. Okay. Why don't we go ahead and do it individually?
On the motion to establish the Commissary Advisory Committee, can you vote Vice President Evans Brown?
Yes.
Board Member Hurd? Board Member McCacken? Board Member Makosi? Board Member Rivera? Board Member Shuta? Vice President Scott?
Yes.
Board Member Woods?
Yes.
And President Felton Cobman?
Yes.
Thank you, and it passes unanimously.
Okay. May I have a motion authorizing the district to fully settle pending litigation before the New York State Supreme Court with index number 808413/2022 in an amount not to exceed $15,000. May I have a first and second?
So moved.
Larry, Mr. Scott, and Jennifer Makosi. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any exceptions? Thank you. Can I have a motion authorizing the district to fully settle pending litigation before the New York State Division of Human Rights with complaint number 102-33386, as well as 2 related grievances in a total amount not to exceed $65,000? May I have a motion?
So moved.
So move, Larry Scott. May I have a second? Terry Shooter, Paulette Woods. No problem. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, moving forward. We're wrapping up. Okay, I think. Oh, I had 2 of those. Okay. I think that's it. Is there any other unfinished business before we conclude this meeting? I request that the board, if anyone has any committee reports that they'd like to report on, but if not, we will waive that part of our meeting this month due to the sake of time. And if there's no other unfinished business, yes. Next, we'll have our bereavements. Dr. Kathy Evans Brown.
Please stand. Bereavements, November 20th, 2024. October 9th, Albert A. Daniels, father of Adrian Rurio from Central Office Grants Department and father-in-law to Daniel, teacher at Lafayette High School. October 12th, Alan Parsons, brother of Tammy Parsons, administrative assistant in the security department. November 12th, Michael O. Payton, senior, retired teacher aide from Bennett High School, father of Michael Payton, Jr., teacher assistant at Build Academy number 92. Delvin Patton, security officer at Buffalo Public School number 3, and Veronica Collins, school clerk at Emerson number 302. November 13th, William R. McCurshey, beloved husband of Marilyn Kurt McCurshey, father of Rebecca Ryan, BPS assistant principal at BAVPA, and father-in-law of Shanesi Ryan, teacher at International Preparatory High School. May we bow in silence? I'm sorry? Okay. A student at Southside, his name was Josiah Parasol. May we bow in silence? Thank you.
Okay, well, again, we want to thank David Lowry from Erie County School Board Association and Jane Sullivan, right, for coming. And with all that, may I have a motion to conclude? And thank you for the pies, by the way. May I have a motion to conclude? I saw Cindy at the far end. and